What's up, everybody? Live and back on the YouTube for the first time in what seems like forever. Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. It's Friday, June 1st. First of the month. I love the first of the month. It always feels like a new, fresh day, right? New, fresh start. And it's always good, I think. So jumping on live, going to see who's on tonight, just sort of impromptu. We'll let the room fill up a little bit. And, and hey, I was wondering what happened to you. Nothing happened. Just somebody's giggling at me on the other side of the couch. She's being shy. It's just been a crazy couple weeks. I mean, it really has been super busy. We haven't been able to do our weekly shows like we were doing. Gosh, one second. Sorry, the air conditioner keeps coming on. It's just cold, and then with it on, off, it's hot. Big thunderstorm here, but I think it's about done. So hopefully we will not lose this feed. Yeah, I just heard some more thunder. But yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Some stuff going on. We'll fill you in on some of it. We got some super secret project going on, sort of. No, we do have an opportunity that's going to be really cool, which we will tell you about in the coming weeks and so on. But we actually cannot tell you right now, which will make more sense when we do tell you, strangely enough, because we were asked not to. But I know, like, what a tease. Like, what, it's just like, hey, just throw enough out there. But something kind of cool, something different we've never done before. But I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said, for the lack of content, it's just been a crazy couple weeks. Yes, Karen is here.
I'm not here.
She's here, but she's not here.
Oh, your face went away. Something happened.
I don't know. Sometimes it just has little glitches. Hopefully you guys can still hear and see me. Karen said it went away, but hopefully that's not the case. Maybe your phone went away.
Maybe your phone went away.
She's pretty sassy tonight, as if that's something new. But how's everybody doing out there in YouTube land? I feel like I haven't connected with you guys in forever. So love to hear how it's been going. We're almost into month number 6, so we'll be halfway through the year at the end of this month, which is kind of an interesting time. Summer is kind of a slowdown time for a lot of clothing sellers. But for the rest of you guys, maybe you're selling stuff that it doesn't really matter as much. So I got my American Casino guide and a phone stand for filming this week. I want to get a gimbal. Yeah, gimbal would be nice. Somebody said, what is rugby?
What?
Come on, Alex. It's a sport. So look it up. But Karen's son Ben plays rugby and has a lot of opportunities with that this summer. So, oh, just kidding. All right, fair enough. All right, that's good. I'm gonna have to get too crazy here, but I thought it would be a good time to share with you guys kind of couple things like what's been going on. Started selling books on Amazon at the beginning of May. Actually, it wasn't the beginning of May. It was more like the second week of May. But I'm going to share with you results because I told you guys I would be really transparent about what we've been doing, what we've gotten, the success and not so success we've had. And so I'm going to share with you guys everything we've done to this point here in a moment. And of course, there is a spreadsheet because you guys know me. But honestly, there's no other good way to keep track of it. I also want to talk about the future of eBay a little bit as well, because I'm getting a lot of questions, people either on YouTube or Facebook or wherever saying, hey, are you going to do this? You're going to do that? And we've kind of been talking about it, but I just want to reiterate, kind of what our plan is going forward on eBay and what that'll look like. What are you doing?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were, never mind.
I'm typing.
I don't know what I thought, but yeah, so long as it's working, you're motivated, you should be good. Yeah. So some of you already know this. I decided to start selling on Amazon again, I guess probably about a month ago. And I was thinking about ways to do that. And I was talking with a friend of mine, and he said, you know what, if I had to start over again, and he's a big Amazon seller, he said, if I had to start over again, I would start over with books. And I was like, really? Well, why is that? And he told me all of his reasons, and they kind of made sense to me. So I decided to, I've been feeling I should be more diversified for some time now. So I decided to start selling some books on Amazon and see what that looks like. And, if I could have some success at it, what success even looks like. That's a great question, right? Alex has big, heavy coffee table books to sell. Some of those sell. Some of those can go FBA. Some you can sell merchant filled. But we took some steps to get involved in them. I started educating myself again because I've sold books on Amazon before. And it was funny kind of scrolling back through my shipments over the last 3 years. And I haven't really shipped anything in Amazon. And like before May, it was probably over a year. But I did ship in books before. I sold books before on the platform, but I never really took it super serious. Maybe serious is the wrong word.
You're not supposed to look at your co-host.
I mean, I didn't really go after it, I guess, is a better way to look at it. I didn't really, narrow it down and make it more of a science rather than just, sort of winging it with what I thought would work. So this time I took a different approach. I said, you know what? I'm going to be very pragmatic with my approach. I'm going to really go after this and try to do it right. So I did get involved with a scouting app, ScoutIQ, which there's a link to it down below. You can check out their website if you like that app. And it's a good app. I got involved with a listing app, Accelerlist, which I've been using too. And I just think that it's an interesting way to buy a lot of inventory without a lot of price or without a lot of cost, and generate some sales momentum and start kind of relearning Amazon a little bit. Because my account only has like 50 feedback on Amazon, I think, or 45, something like that. So I don't have a tremendous amount of feedback on the platform. Not that that matters tremendously, but it does matter some. So I decided I would do it with books. I could probably get a lot of feedback kind of quicker that way because you can sell a lot of items fast. So we went out and we started scanning books. We started doing it with our phones. Initially, it was just me. Karin started helping as well. And we were going out to thrift stores, estate sales, and yard sales. And it was been an interesting month. And I started getting the books. I came up with a schedule. And I wish I could flesh this out for you guys better. But the schedule has basically been to scan books Saturday through Thursday and ship on Friday. I think I'm going to change that and start shipping on Mondays just because I think the books will get there quicker without the weekend. Do you pay to ship the books to Amazon? You do, Alex, but Amazon has a really good deal worked out with UPS, so it's super cheap to ship them in. But, it's still a cost for sure. And the Green Room meetup is actually on Wednesday, which I will be in Austin, Texas. So if any of you guys want to come by and say hello, Karin and I both will be in Austin, Texas, Wednesday through Sunday. So just go ahead and come by and see, even if you're not a member of the Green Room, you can come check it out. And it'd be cool to see you guys if you're in Austin. And anyway, that's a good question, Ken. I'll get to that in a minute. Ken has a question about why would I choose books because they're doubling the storage fees. They increased some fees, but there's ways to, minimize that. It changes your business model, just like with anything else. And no, we do not poly bag. We just throw most of them in a box and ship for the most part. But I don't know if that's the right thing or not. I'm still learning this, guys. But I want to show you guys I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the stuff I've been collecting, what we've been doing. So this is a spreadsheet I made to keep track of basically what we scanned every day. Pulls are just book cost. And you can see for the first 7 days of the month, we didn't scan anything because we weren't really doing it. Didn't really start till the 8th. And then each day I was just going to record how many items we scanned, how many books we pulled, and what the cost was. So you can see here it was like a $57 cost. And then, here it was a $30 cost. Some of these were higher in textbooks that we pull, which cost a little more, and so on and so on. So it kind of gave us what we were doing each day and just kind of keeping track of it. Today I found 6 books after 100 scans. It's sort of a news source, and so on. So just tracking each day, nothing really complicated here. And I'll tell you that, kind of thinking about books are kind of like anything else that you're going to source. I've already found out. The more you scan and look for inventory, the more you're going to find. Books are sort of a one-off, or not a one-off. Books are sort of forgotten by a lot of people. They don't really put any value on them, so they're willing to give them up. The 6 books I found today, they were actually in a store that sells books, and they had them all priced down to $1. And a couple of them were going for like 25, 30 bucks, maybe even 40 bucks. So they miss things all the time, guys, is my point. A pull just means I pulled a book. It means we sourced a book. We found a book that we want to sell. That's all it means. We still could get that book home and discover there was something wrong with it we missed in the store. But for the most part, it's just sourcing a book. That's all I call it. I just call it a pull. I don't know. Probably not the right term. Hold on. We'll get to other stuff here. Somebody's saying, what? No average cost of goods? We'll get there. So that's what we started doing. We started, scanning, going out to libraries. Libraries are really cheap in my area. I found one the other day that was 25 cents for softbacks and 50 cents for hardbacks, and it was buy 2, get 1 free. And I was like, ching. How can you really go wrong with that deal, right? So, and I'm just kind of going through the tabs of my spreadsheet here a little bit, guys. I'm going to show you the next one and this one's really, really simple. And hang on, let me pull this over here. So the next tab I create on here, and again, you guys know how I am with spreadsheets. But I like to, you got to kind of keep track of what you're doing, or you really won't know what the heck's going on in your business. So this one is just real simple. It's also got the date, but it's just got how many books I listed on Fulfilled by Merchant, like Merchant Fulfilled, which was 19 on the 8th of May, and then how many I sent in to FBA. So at first I was shipping kind of erratically, like here's 26 I sent in this day, and 18 on this day, and then 65 right here, and then 124, and I haven't sent this week's shipment yet. So my goals were, and then we'll get to where I'm at, like an actual metrics what I'm doing. Caleb Roth is the guy who created ScoutIQ, and he brought a couple guys together, and they started doing a 100 book a week challenge with a stated goal of selling at least $10,000 worth of books in 90 days and having $10,000 worth of profit by the end of this year. Don't know if they'll get there or not, but I kind of like that number, 100 books. Like, it's a nice kind of goal to go after. It's something you're very tangible, and you can break it down and say, well, how long is it going to take me to get 100 books that I can pull and send into Amazon, or maybe even sell Merchant Fulfilled? There she is. And surprise appearance. So I started, with that kind of number in mind after I started to listen to that challenge. Like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get 100. So we got 124 last week, which was great. We actually did it in 4 days instead of 5, which was even better than I thought. And this week, I think we're going to end up with like 125 as well. And I got to tell you, in my area, I've got a lot of supply. I am not going to share with you my supply list the places where we source from, you're gonna have to come up with your own.
Yep.
But I've already identified 57 locations that are within reasonable driving time to here. And my plan is this. I think I can hit each of those at least once a month and then kind of cycle back through them. And if you break that out, you know, say you have like 20 work days in a month, that comes out to roughly 3 locations a day. Now you got to look at your geography and make sure that sort of makes sense where you're going. You don't want to be driving all over the place. But I think with 57 spots initially, I shouldn't really have too much trouble pulling 100 books a week from those. That's only 400 books a month roughly. So I don't even have to pull 10 per location. And so far that has not been a problem. But I'm gonna show you guys kind of all the numbers I've had. Now, remember, I didn't even send any books in until the 8th of May. And full disclosure here, I've got 100 books, literally 100 books that are still processing at Amazon and have not even hit my account, which would actually about double the number of books I have listed right now. I've got around, like, I think I've got 100 and maybe it's 108 or 111. And then I've got around about that many that are sitting there waiting to process. So it's kind of like, I don't even know what my results are going to be yet. Apparently one of my shipments went to BWI, which I think is Baltimore. If anybody knows, if you're an Amazon seller, maybe you know. And that, apparently that fulfillment center, sometimes there's issues with it. I've heard that they don't check in your shipments very long. They've had my shipment for like 6 days now, and it's still not hitting my account yet, which really sucks. Because I'm like, hey, I need to sell these books, and I can't sell them until they hit. Ninja asks, you think that eventually you scan the same books 5 to 6 times a year that route? Possibly, but I don't think so. Like, it depends on your sources. Like, if you're going to Goodwills, for instance, or maybe a Savers, I don't know about Savers, but they trade their books out a lot. Like, they cycle them out a lot, recirculate, you know. So I think you're going to get some pretty clean ones. We'll see when we do the second run, but it's a great question. The average shooting for, it's not so much a sales price, Thrift Trader. It's more like a profit number based on the sales rank. One of the cool things about ScoutIQ is, as the rank gets better, you can kind of a little less profit because you're going to sell it really quickly, sort of a faster. And as the rank to make more on it, storage. To average a $20 selling price on books, because at that number you'll make great profit. If you're buying books for 50 cents or $1 or $1.50. So I'm kind of thinking about it that way. And Russell said, what's the minimum profit per book you're willing to accept, and what's the maximum? The maximum range, like, can be a really profitable book to even pick that up. And the minimum profit per book, basically, if I can make $2 would be like after cost of goods and fees, that would be the absolute minimum for the most part. And that would be a very good rank, quick moving book that would be likely to sell within just a few days. So there's like virtually no chance you're going to pay any extra fees on that. You're just gonna, it's just gonna hit. So anyway, all right. So let me show you. Here's kind of the big numbers for those of you who are asking, and I understand why you're asking, and I'm definitely going to share them because this is. I told you guys I'm going to be transparent about this process, and you know we'll see where it goes. I just lost my mouse. Oh, there it is. Okay. So overall metrics. All right. Here's the colorful one. All right, and I might break this up. Okay, so you can see here, this is my numbers so far. For the month of May, I've got this broken out into, so the first part is just sourcing, columns B through F. So in column B, we have the number of scans we've done. We did 10,477 scans. I actually got another scanner and another ScoutIQ subscription. So it's very quick. Wouldn't you agree?
Very.
Like, it's faster than the phone, for sure. There's no question about that. We've pulled 363 books. Like I mentioned, we've got about 100 and some this week that we're going to be seeing in. We also have about 100 and some that have not processed by Amazon. So I don't have 363 live. I have about a third of that, actually. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All the books we sourced so far is a cost of $484 plus 6 is $490. And our pull percentage is 3.49. So what that is it's this number divided by this number. So in other words, we're finding about 1 out of every 33 books that we scan meets our criteria. And our per book cost is $1.33 so far. I think that's pretty good, but I won't really know. I think that's a pretty low cost of goods, or it will be in the long run. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. I'll come back to check the thing. So initially, like, we did 10,000 scans without a scanner for hardly any of the month. And I think that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Your percentage was a lot better until I came along, because we scan a little differently. Hello, everyone. Hopefully it's not glitchy, because I turned off every streaming device in the house at this point.
Yes. So Alex says 10,000 scans, my eyes would hurt. Well, no, they wouldn't, Alex. And why wouldn't they, Karin? You know why why wouldn't your...
You don't have to look at it. So your friends in the book scanning universe.
Your best friend, earbuds.
Earbuds. I'm not going to put both in because then I can't hear. You plug that into your cell phone. You have the app. You've already updated the database that morning. And look, I have my own scanner. And we know the difference because it has a T necklace on it. I'm going to embarrass myself and not turn it on. Right?
You just...
What did I do?
Cancel. And just hit the scan button.
This one?
Yep.
No,
oh, wait.
I gotta go.
What do you want?
I want to cancel and exit. I want to go down. Hold on, we're having technical difficulty. Hold on.
Keep going.
I can't see. I have to go to that end thing.
Yep.
All right, so watch. It's on. So, boop.
Yeah. So what happens is we have earbuds in, and the app has an audible option. It plays you set up one tone when it's a reject, and then don't shine in my eyes.
I didn't shine it in your eye. I shine it in your ear, not your eye, in your ear.
YouTube, you all saw it right here. If I'm blinded.
But anyway, it's a great thing.
That way you hear in your ear whether or not to pull the book or not, or if it comes up as it's not found. That can happen too, and that happens.
And we've decided that it's like, what is it in other things? Yeah,
it's like hitting a jackpot on a slot machine, right? It's like the ding, 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 right?
Because it's like it's a happy noise. And when it's a book that you want to pull, since we learned that word tonight, and when it's a book that is rejected, it does an unhappy noise. So it's literally, it's very Pavlovian, right? So when it's a green and accept, it's ding, and then when it's rejected, it's wah, wah. So it's very clear whether or not you want the book, right? And you kind of get addicted to the happy sound. So for me, and again, we source completely differently. I'm about, like, I scan everything.
Yeah, she does. She scans everything. And I'm like, nah, I don't need to scan those, Sue Grafton, Janet Ivanovich, John Grisham.
No, I don't do all of those, but there's some things that are misplaced. There's some diamonds in that rough as well. And it's numbers, so I just scan all the things. And
it has live and database, Enrique. We tend to use just the database, and the only reason is so far is because the live is a little slower, but also the live tends to sometimes bring up things that have a funky UPC that aren't a book. I don't know why that is exactly, but I've noticed that a couple times. But
you said it was slower too. Like if we're on the live, unless we're on Wi-Fi, it'll be a lot slower.
It will. It will. What the cuss scanner is, that's the KDC200. There's a link to one in my in the description of this video. But you can find them on Amazon, used for about anywhere from about $130 to about $180 used. New, they're more than that. They're over 200. They're actually pretty cool little scanners in general. They will do far more than books, but they're not cheap. There are much cheaper options out there. I just decided I'd read so much about scanners, and it really only came down to that one of the Opticons. And I thought, I'm not going to get stuck with a piece of junk right off the bat. I'm just going to get whatever's good and just make it work.
Well, and you can certainly use your phone.
It will work with anything, Alvin. Alvin S. Does it work on CDs? It will work with anything as long as you're in live mode. It will literally let you scan anything that's in Amazon's database and pull it up. Now, it won't apply this to it because it's but it'll still will pull up the item if you want. So it basically is a keyboard for your smartphone. Your code and Enrique says you can turn that off and we'll only look at the ISBN in the settings. Oh, cool. And about it.
We can come on and scan things with it.
Let me show you guys some more results. I'm going to show more of this. So we'll go back to that. So how many have we listed? So you see over here in column H, I, and J, this is the that we've listed. Listed 19 in fulfilled by merchant, 233 FBA, again, 100 and some of which have not been processed by Amazon. So we've listed 252, which, you know, this is a very, I mean, you know, we talk about on eBay all the time. We'll come back. That it's a list. There's definitely to putting a lot of books in the pipeline here with Amazon and just Amazon in general, because you're going to have some duds. You're going to have some winners. You're going to have a lot of bread and butter, just like anything else. But if you're buying correctly on the front end and not spending too much capital, even your duds and books don't really kill you. When your cost is down like around $1.30 or $1.25, you're not, even if you had to get rid of 100 books, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So it's good to dangle, you know, a lot of hooks there in the water to catch a fish, I guess. So I think being able to send in 100 a week is a reasonable goal. That's 5,200 a year. I have kind of I have a short-term goal of to be up to around 500 by the end of the summer listings. And then, and actually I should be ahead of that. And long-term, by the end of this year, I'd like to be around 2,500, which would be a nice amount. So I don't know. I mean, books just sell steadily, you know?
Well, and those two fellas are doing it, right? They had their book challenge, and now we're almost to the end of the 90 days, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. I mean, I don't think they're going to quite hit $10,000 in sales. I think the one guy going to hit around 8. And he got, I think he did I don't know his parameters. It's like he's ended up being 35 on that, maybe 32, 33, 34. I don't know, somewhere in there. And so maybe I'll get some results, maybe I won't. I don't know. Do you enjoy sourcing books much as jeans? I think I probably enjoy it more in a weird way. It's like instant feedback.
Yeah.
Jeans are kind of harder to know. Until you've gotten a lot. It took me a lot longer to learn jeans, which was fun in its own respect. But once I even found the jeans, like I still had a lot of the work to do. Once I found the book, that was a lot of the work. The book nearly as the jeans. I mean, I listed 124 books the other week, and I was super slow, and I did it like in 3 hours. And that was a terrible amount of time. And it was because I made some mistakes. It would have taken far longer to list 124 pair of jeans in 3 hours. Like,
yes. Resellery. I mean, we it's not a bad thing. It's just I said something a couple weeks ago how this is, you know, it's something new and it's challenging you and you're having to come up with more different spreadsheets and the books have kind of, I don't know, they've just poked something in you. Ooh,
yes.
Is that a good thing to say?
Probably not. All right. Some more results here.
You're the one that said I could come on and say hi. Am I done now?
All right, so back to the spreadsheet. So let's look at some solds here. So as of today, actually, I think I sold one a little bit earlier, but I sold 2 of my Fulfilled by Merchant books for a total of $12. That does not include the shipping. I have a $3.99 shipping. So basically dollar sales. And those were Fulfilled by Merchant books. And that, so it was an average sales price of $6. These were some books we just had sitting around. These were not even ones we sourced. So really was no cost on those other than when we initially paid for them. But I'm going to keep track of those as well. There will be some Fulfilled by Merchant. What about FBA? So FBA, we have sold, you can see here 9 so far. This was as of yesterday. And again, that was on a total inventory of about 120, and it didn't even have 120 for most. Only had that for about the last week. So it's really only about 1 full good week of sales data I have here. The gross on that was 228. I did sell a pretty average selling price. So that gives me a total of 11 sold so far. So a good start. For $240. Actually, I should figure out that average sale price. I just realized that. Another column. And so my sell-through, this is a little tricky because it's not really a great number. So basically, I'm dividing the number sold by the number listed. So it's 4.37% so far. I expect it to be, for a month, probably triple that once I get a full pipeline of books there and going. But what's killing me is half of my books are just sitting in Amazon's warehouse, and they're not putting them in my inventory. That's super annoying and also super not profitable. I think
not cool.
well, and I made a mistake too, to be total disclosure. It wasn't a mistake. Like 6 books a couple weeks ago, was saying active out of stock. Well, it turns out Amazon had changed the way you upload your what's it called? Like your loading template from Accelerlist to Amazon. And so it was, the books were there and processed, but they were not on my inventory. So I had to go in and resubmit the feed in Accelerlist. And once I did that, they instantly showed up. So all told, I really only had about 40 or 50 books for sale the whole month, to be totally honest. And then the others have been kind of trickling in, and some are still not there. So I'm really not going to know what's going to be listed. I kind of need a couple months to really have a good idea for this. But those are nothing huge for sure. But we'll see how it goes. You got to give it a little bit of time. I didn't sell a lot of jeans when I first started either.
Well, and we agreed that this is the learning curve time. So
yeah. How much is to ship a big pallet box of books to someone? You could send it like a less than a truckload pallet. You might get a good deal on it. What's Ben doing for the summer? He's working. Probably he might be doing some book scanning.
We keep trying to hire him. We told him we'd pay him really good money. But
I know.
He'd rather work for the man for
less money.
$8 an hour.
I don't even get it. Are you selling the books Amazon Prime? Some of them, I mean, they're going FBA, so yes, they're eligible for Prime. That answers your question for the most part. But I'm not opposed to selling merchant fulfilled. I just don't understand yet how I should sell, whether I should sell it merchant fulfilled or FBA yet. Like, I don't know what that math looks like. So I kind of need to figure that out a little better. How do you think this affects your other endeavors as far as time and money? I'm not sure what you mean by the question. Clearance Ninja. So if you mean like what will be the long-term outlook for it, I've said this a couple times, and I really believe this. I think that there are models of businesses out there, and Amazon lends itself to it a lot easier than eBay, in my opinion. But there are models where you can outsource more and more of a particular model. And I think something like books is one of those niches where you could outsource all of it. You could outsource the scouting and the finding of books and the listing of books. So eventually I could be in a position where, you know, it's almost functioning like a form of passive income. I'm overseeing it, but it's not, I'm not running the day-to-day. I'm not scanning the books. I'm not listing the books necessarily. I'm just sort of overseeing that process. And obviously you're going to spend some money to do that on employees or contractors or whatever, but you're not putting your time into it either. And you can do it. It can happen even when you're not around. So I look to this to be something to do that, to help build up some capital. And I'm also learning Amazon. I hesitate to say this. We're learning Amazon on a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and we're not, I think Ninja's asking, how's it going to affect? We're still going to do the other things. We've never been one to put all our eggs in one basket, right? So I don't think anything's going away, except everything's going to evolve like it already has.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you got a lot of people have had things to say about how you're not going to be the jeans guy anymore. You were never going to be the jeans guy forever, right?
Right.
Like 10 years from now, where do you want to be? You know, do you still want to be doing the same thing in the exact same way that you're doing it now? You know, if you're able to do that, if it's profitable, if you enjoy it, good for you. But that's never been the plan.
Nope. No,
anyway,
and I mean, I've sold jeans on eBay for the last 3 years, you know, pretty much full time. So it's not like I'm a fly by night kind of guy here. I do it all the time.
And what's interesting is, and Connie, I think Connie asked about consignment. Consignment is still going very strong. It's not going anywhere either. But we found with our processes, right, our proficiencies in said processes, we have downtimes. Yeah. So what's really cool about the books and about some of the other pieces to our puzzle is that maybe a year ago, some of these things would have conflicted more with each other. But I think at making it all answer.
Right.
Between listing for, say, consignment customers, then we're working more on this. Or you have a schedule, which has changed a little bit for the books.
Right.
You know, we source on XYZ day, and then we're going to ship them off to Amazon now it's going to be Mondays. It used to be Friday, but now it's going to be Monday, you know? So all of it is going to continue to work together. I don't know if is there anything that we're dropping that we're not going to do?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we've really dropped has been the new sourcing of jeans. Which we're gonna, I mean, I look at it like this is part of an overall plan to diversify more onto the Amazon platform as well as eBay. And to do that, something has to be given up. Like we couldn't maintain what we were doing. We couldn't go source jeans and books and shoes and do consignment. I mean, it's just too much. There's no way we could do all that like to higher levels. So we had to make some choices. So this is the way we're going. Feedback from customers. I'm not doing anything to get feedback from customers. Hopefully I'll just get it. If I don't, maybe I'll look into those options. I know there are options. What does it cost per pound to ship to Amazon? Books tend to cost about 40 cents a book on average. So there you go. And a book probably weighs a little over a pound. So it's a little less than, yeah.
What was that box the other day? It was like 40 pounds or something. And it was only, do you remember you said, hey, how much do you think this box costs to ship? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was like nothing. It was like
yeah,
almost a 50-pound box.
It was like 48 pounds and it cost like $14 to ship or something like
or
that.
Not even.
Like
It was
crazy low because they have a great deal worked out with UPS, which is awesome. Are still selling. How's that working? It's working well.
I just talked about that.
Karin just talked about that. I mean, it's like all this stuff is like an evolution to grit, continuing and say larger opportunity, I'll just say it that way, that'll be ongoing for the rest of this year, which we will talk about a little bit more. I just can't right now because it's just time sensitive, I guess, for lack of a better term. But if we wouldn't have done the consignment, we wouldn't have this opportunity.
You're just like a little kid.
You're like, right. Well, merchant fulfilled, your books wouldn't be lost somewhere in Amazon warehouse. That is true, Mary. You are correct.
Yeah, the biggest benefit to FBA for us is space. Even though arguably we have it both in a very empty house now and as well as in the warehouse, we've already cleared out some of the warehouse space to make room for some other stuff. So FBA is going to be a godsend for that. And we're interested also, you know, in books off.
Well, books are honest. You got to keep, but they're an easy ship. They go via mail, which is cheap, like $2.60. Poly bag. I mean, if you that will sell, there's probably FBA book really needs to sell for about $11 or more, because any lower than that, you're losing so much with fees and so on, it sort of doesn't become worth it unless. But you could sell a merchant fulfilled book for $7, and you know, $3 shipping, you know, $3.50 shipping, $3.99 shipping is usually the standard credit Amazon charges, and do quite nicely. You know, you would literally make probably about, after fees, you would make about $6. So if you're turning some volume quick, it's like I said, because you're not having to reinvent the wheel every time. It's a simple media mail done out the door. But I haven't done too much with these. I haven't shipped more than one at a time on a given day, so that'll be kind of interesting when that happens. Maybe they have a bulk shipping option.
Well, and what's cool about the books too is that we could go to another town and source books with our handy dandy scanners and ship them there, right? Yeah,
it looks like sorry for breaking up, guys. I don't really know why.
It's thunder.
It is thundering and lightning here. That's possible. But we do not really we haven't been polybagging. We could. I just don't think a lot of books it's really worth it.
And we already have a plethora of the padded envelopes, the brown padded envelopes. That's what you're talking about, right? To ship.
Yeah.
We already have them, so we might as well use them. And it protects the books a little bit too.
Yeah, sorry for breaking up, guys. I hope the replay will be better, but maybe it
and it's big lightning, so it's possible that we're going to lose internet altogether. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. So, but you know, so it's been an interesting. Like I said, we're going to be.
That's next week. We leave.
Down below in the description. It's a cool network of people started by Eric College Picker, Rake and Profit, and the Bonafide Hustler. They're the three principals. So we've been a member. I've been a member now, I guess, for almost 3 years. Which is pretty cool.
I'm an exacto member.
So where do we send the books, and what's your cut when we send them to you? You know, people do consign books. Usually it's around 20% of the selling price. So I don't know if that's a standard or not. Like, because they're easy. I mean, you know, you just have to prep them and ship them in. But I don't know. It's been a lot of fun doing it. It's a new challenge. I think you should always, like you were talking about, you always got to evolve and challenge yourself with this, or it can get stale. It's not so fun anymore. And I just think that we will be able to, you know, leverage this into another whole revenue stream from Amazon, and it's going to push us into other Amazon channels as well. I can sell clothing on Amazon. I can sell automotive. I think I can still, believe it or not, because I think I'm grandfathered in, but I'm not positive on that. books, video games, computer stuff, electronics. So, you know, there's other avenues there, and obviously there's a lot of product. And books, man, there's tons of them out there. Just so many out there, it's not even funny. If you can't find books to sell, you really need to move, honestly, because they are everywhere. They literally are everywhere, and a lot of people don't want to fool with them. So it's always a lot of good inventory out there, unlike clothing, which sometimes they put a higher price on than it really deserves. It's rare you see books over in a large quantity. You know, they're usually underpriced, if anything. I found a couple today for $1 each that literally like $25 and $30 books. So you got there. Oh, she has a new suitcase. Sure.
It's over there.
I don't think you can fit in it though, but maybe.
I can go get it though.
Yeah, she's going to show you the move. Move to Charlotte to find books. No, don't do that, Duncan. We've actually locked up all the locations. They're all ours, and there's none for anyone else. I'm sorry. Yes, Karin has a new suitcase. It's kind of shiny. Yep. So that'll be going to Austin. So,
and Vegas.
And Vegas. Yeah, that's right. We have to buy our tickets for Vegas.
Well, we have
our eBay Open tickets. We just don't have our airline tickets.
Yeah.
Are you limiting the quality of the books you send in acceptable books in bad shape? Yes, Enrique. I really don't like sending an acceptable book in. But I am one of those who tends to undergrade. So if it's good, and if it's only good, I usually will list it as acceptable if there's any issues at all. And if it's very good, I'll list it as good. I try to undergrade just in case. But I don't like doing acceptable. It's like all the things that make it acceptable, I don't think make a good customer experience on the back end. So I don't like doing that one.
No, we use the same test as we would for jeans. Like, would we buy that book in that condition?
That's right. And you can do Austin. If they're there and they're worth it, I mean, we will. We could ship in some to FBA right there. So it's kind of like, pay for the trip with all the books we send in, maybe. I don't know. So absolutely, because we could take our printer with us. We would just have to stop at like a Lowe's or Home Depot and get some boxes, maybe, and that's it. Because I'm going to take boxes on a plane. But yep.
That was boxes and snakes on a plane. Never mind.
It was. Serious question. What would your take be if we sent books to Amazon to your account? I'm not sure what you're asking there, Ninja. Exactly. Maybe you rephrase that question. I'm not sure what you're asking. What do you think of eBay offering to pay back customer returns till August? I don't know much about that. I'm not up on that subject. If I'm reading your question right, eBay wants to do that, let them do it. I
didn't get the memo. What's eBay doing?
I'm not sure either. Unfortunately, I will be in Vegas 2 weeks before the eBay Open. Well, see, there you go.
Who's that?
Clarence Ninja.
Ninja?
I know, right?
What about Austin, Texas?
How much would you pay me to source books for you? Yeah, that's a good question, Russell.
Where do you live, Russell?
Well, we're not at the stage to really have anybody scouting for us because we're still learning it ourselves, obviously.
We're close.
But I think I like the model the best where you pay someone just a flat amount. And then if they get the book really cheap or free, great. They make a lot of profit. If they get it not so cheap, okay, they make less profit. Instead of trying to like reimburse them for every book, because that's going to get really complicated from a inventory standpoint. If you're all right, somebody brings you a book they paid $1 for, and let's say you pay them $1, but this book they bought for $1.25. Oh man, that's a lot of headache and account. So I model right about pay someone a flat per book, and then they they subtract the cost out of that. There's your cost of goods. So let's say you pay them, you know, $2.50 a book, and they bought the book for 25 cents. They're making $2.25 on the book. On the other hand, if they paid $1.50 for it, they're making $1. I just think that's an easier way to do it, in my opinion. I think that's super, super simple for both parties, and it encourages people to find books cheaper. And it makes the accounting simpler on for both parties. Oh, I didn't read. Sorry about that one.
I can't see it.
Ninja said, I don't know if there's enough economic value for me to go to Austin. I don't know. I look at like these trips, guys. Meetup you go to, there is some degree. If you wanted to go source that area, just go source the area. Like, why? I don't know that it really, I don't think that's really the point of these trips. I really don't, because I mean, you could drive around the country and do FBA, for instance. Plenty of people. We know several of them. To network and learn things and hang out with fellow resellers, you know, make connections, then do that. You know, if you happen to source some things there too, great. But I view it as a networking and connection and a meetup first and a sourcing opportunity second. And Las Vegas probably won't. I mean, actually, Las Vegas, we could source the easiest. If you think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we will. I'm not sure. Not there yet. We're going to worry about Austin first and then Vegas. We got to get through Austin first. But just, I don't think meetups, you should think about them. You know, even if it's somewhere you've never been, I mean, it's cool, but look at it. It's got a dual purpose, I guess, is my point.
Aw. Even to come say hello to us, Ninja?
I know,
come
right?
on.
That's pretty funny.
I can't read this.
I have trouble finding anything good here, Adam says. Ninja says he plans on sourcing in Vegas. Yeah, I mean, do it if you want. I mean, sure, you can.
Technically, aren't we all working when we go to Vegas?
Oh, it's a working trip. Well, I think the issue is up or a networking event or sourcing. Would you even go to like that's set up? But on the other hand, I could argue while the sourcing is due, the bigger win is probably run. Because if you make even one connection out of that, one friend, one contact, one client, one reseller, you know, comrade, whatever, you like that is going to pay way more dividends than, you know, the 25 or 50 items you find at a thrift store. It just is. It's going to pay way more. You know, my connection to Luke has paid way more hanging out that first day in that Goodwill, you know, because we did do that on the first day we met him. But it was really about meeting him and talking to him and making a connection to him, the things I've learned from him, the conversations we've had, we've worked together. That's gone far greater than, you know, whatever items I found with that Goodwill that day. So I just look at it a little differently, I guess. Education is important. Networking and making connection to other people is important. And ultimately can lead to far more opportunities for product and profitability than actual sourcing.
And yes, meeting us is all worth it in the Vegas.
Adam says he's spending $2,000 just to meet us.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
and we'll
thing come through.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, anyway, for sure.
Copy. Apologize. Hopefully you got some kind of. It was good to be with you guys again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep updating you guys on this book journey. I know not all of you are interested in it, but look at it as it can just be a learn opportunity, something maybe you didn't know anything about, or before, and maybe it'll spur you to, well, not necessarily mistakes, because I'm sure I will make a ton of them. So it'll be fun to kind of keep going down this road. But check out the description below for helpful links, guys. There's a lot of them down there for our equipment and some of the resources we like to use. And what else can they do, Karin?
Oh, they can like it. So share the video, like the video, like it.
Smash those buttons right below the player.
Smash it, mateys.
There's the pirate.
There it is. It's been a while for the pirate. Well, Duncan's here, Adam's here. You know, we got to bring out the pirates.
Where do you live at, Russell? He said, oh, wait, he's in New Jersey on the Delaware River. We do meet up there. It's a little far, but I won't say not necessarily.
Never say never.
We could do one in Virginia, maybe. That would be a good compromise.
Yeah, our next real big official one will be in Atlanta in the fall. Stay dry, work hard, keep hustling, keep it real. And as always,
I know where you're going.
Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. So I am Prof Sales.
And I'm Karin saying good sales to you.